Now, if you're doing the core optimization exercise, it is absolutely critical that you're on the numbers from your Wright. If you don't have these numbers, you want to see a Wright Balance professional. If you check at wrightbalance.com, we have a map with a list of all of our professionals worldwide, and you'll be able to contact them directly. I want to show you today why it is so important to have these numbers. I've had a number of emails from people saying they've tried nine random stance widths, and as a result of that, they've gone more out of balance than when they started. I want to show you why. So I have my stance widths here on a perpendicular to the camera, and there's another list here. But I want to show you what I look like face on and down the line. So let's move this back just so we're very much online here. So you can see, if I take a deep breath, that my hips are absolutely square no matter where I go in, whether I'm on a stance width that's marked or I'm on one that is not, my hips remain absolutely square. So if I face the camera here, and you'll notice how my hands hang exactly the same. You've seen other videos. My hands are hanging the same on, these are all my upper core numbers. They're hanging the same here. They'll hang, those are all upper core numbers. If I go to a lower core number, they're going to hang differently within this region, but you'll notice how my hands just turned out. That's balance. And here. And you'll notice that my shoulders are level, and if I put my thumbs on my hip bone, my anterior iliac crest here, you'll notice that they are the same height. So that's going to change. Those things are going to change as I do these exercises. The first one I'm going to show you, when I do these exercises, I can do them face on and you'll see them better here perhaps. I'm going to stand tall, no knee flex, and I'm going to do an exercise that recruits the horizontal plane on my back. So I'm going to pinch my shoulder blades back, deep breath, and hold it, and you'll notice, see how my hands hang the same? Right here where I am, but my hips just rotated. I did it out of balance, and now you can see how much rotation I have in my hips. And that's just doing that one exercise. No matter where I go now, I'm going to be out of balance. On the back, if I add knee flex, you'll notice how my hips square up. That's a reflection of the front of the core. Stand tall, they open. So you can have hip rotation, but have no change in how your arms and hands hang. Now, the measure of the vertical plane on the back, called posterior sagittal plane, is a step forward. Notice how square my hips are. But when I come back to stand tall here, they rotate. So again, the measure of the vertical plane on the back, posterior sagittal plane, I'm absolutely square. If I take a step back here, they're absolutely square as well here. However, if I come back and just relax, my hips rotate. So that's the horizontal plane on the back. To fix that, I have to go to each of these core regions. Deep breath. I'm going to do the same exercise in balance that I just did out of balance, where I was not on one of these core regions. So you'll notice I'm standing tall, no knee flex to do this. Now, no matter where I go, I've corrected that horizontal plane on the back. Okay, let's take a look now at the horizontal plane on the front. Once again, I'm going to step out of balance to do this. Rotate my stand, no knee flex. Rotate my shoulders toward my sternum. I actually turn my palms out. That'll help create that position, deep breath. And when I finish, you'll notice how my hands now the bar just rotated so much it's hitting my arm. I'm out of balance, and you'll notice how much internal rotation I have in my left hand. And no matter where I go here, you're going to still see the internal rotation of my left hand over my right. And you can see how much my hips rotate no matter where I go. So, and if I add knee flex, it doesn't change, because the knee flex is part of a horizontal plane on the front. Now, to correct it, I'm going to do just the opposite. I'm going to go to all my 9 stance widths. I still have rotation. I haven't corrected totally. I have to do all 9 to have total correction. So if I relax, you can see I still have the rotation. So as I change my stance width, I'm going to each. Now I'm starting to get correction. You can see I'm not corrected here. Now I am, and now the last one. So no matter where I go here now, my hips will be square. That is the exercise for the horizontal plane on the front of the core. And now you'll notice that my hands hang exactly the same, my hips are square. So these exercises attack different regions, recruit and create symmetry in different regions of the core. Okay, let's now take a look at the sagittal plane front and back. Again, I would have shown you after the, you can see how square I am here and how square I am here. So the back of the sagittal plane on the back is out of balance. I'll do this exercise out of balance once again. When I say out of balance, I'm going in between the 9 numbers. But for example, right now I'm in between the lower and the upper core, in between 1 and 9. So everything looks good right now. I add back bend, pinch my shoulder blades together. Deep breath. Now you'll notice my hands still hang the same. And no matter where I go here, as you'll see down this line, my hips aren't rotated either. Hips are not rotated at all. Now that was the sagittal plane on the back of the core. What is changed is when I take a step forward, my hips are going to rotate. So when you're riding a bike, running, swimming, no matter what activity, if you have rotation, as you do now with the disruption of the vertical plane, sagittal plane on the back of the core, obliques, I am going to have rotation. I'm going to create drag. It's going to slow me down from riding a bike. It's going to put stress on the spine I don't need. So to correct this, you'll notice, by the way, that was the back of the core. Okay, sagittal plane, front of the core. Take a step back. I'm still absolutely square here. You move up here so you get a better view on camera. I'm still absolutely square, as you can see. It's when I take that step forward that I get the rotation. That's simply because what I just showed you with the disruption of the core was on the vertical plane on the back. Now let's fix that. I'm going to each of the 9 core region stance widths. I've learned this because I just had a parent in with a junior, and they were without plank strip doing the exercises. We've done this with volunteers to look at randomization of these 9 stance widths. It doesn't work. You have to be on your number, and that father's core was very disrupted. So we did his body measurements and put him back in shape. If you're a right balance professional, do not demonstrate the exercises unless you're going through it on your 9 stance widths. That's how I learned this in the beginning. I was demonstrating out of balance and actually had soreness and pain. On my way home, realized what I'd done. So we've done randomization. Let me show you what I've just corrected now. Now that stance width, now I'm back to square. I'm back to square here, and this again is the front of the core, the sagittal plane on the front. So let's take a look at the sagittal plane on the front. But let me just finish that thought of, we've done randomization of stance widths. I've had viewers send me emails saying, what's happened to my core? I tried the nine stance widths. Well, they hadn't been measured by a Wright balance professional and given their stance widths. What's this all about? Well, I believe you're going to find in the next several years, it's already been since '81, Biotensegrity, I should say, Biotensegrity. I'll put a link to a video on the discussion section of this, the description, that'll take you to a definition of what biotensegrity is by an orthopedic surgeon who in 1981 coined the term and took it from tensegrity, who Buckminster Fuller coined the term tensegrity. It's compression, tension, fascinating, but I believe as we move forward you're going to see that this is where biomechanics of the future is headed. We're moving out of the lever system and the block stacked, and we're looking at the total body. So these isometric compression exercises are impacting the total body. So let's take a look now at what I would do out of balance to disrupt the horizontal plane or the vertical plane on the front, sagittal plane. It's only going to disrupt. You're not going to see, for example, here, if I go back, my hands are going to hang the same. Okay? All we're doing is isolating each exercise and showing you what it's doing. My hands are still the same. My hips are staying square. As you'll see here, hips are going to be square everywhere I go. Now, where it's going to show up is if I take a step back now, you can see the rotation. If I take a step forward, I've corrected that, and I'm still square here. So we are able to isolate and demonstrate by region, anatomical region, exactly what's going on. So how do I fix it? I just do the same thing in balance on all nine. Knee flex, forward bend, shoulders rolled forward. Same exercises you've seen on the videos, except I'm doing them 9 at a time, one exercise at a time. It's easier if you do all 4 exercises on one of these stance widths at a time. And if you take 2 deep breaths as you're doing these, if you have the time, they'll last a lot longer. What I'm doing now, because I've done it so much, with this correction, it'll last 18 to 24 hours. So easily, gym, golf course, no matter where I'm going, I'll be in good shape. So now, step forward, I'm good, and front of the core, step back, I'm good. That is why you want to make sure that you have very precisely on the numbers when you do the exercises. Otherwise, you'll totally disrupt your core. As we've seen in our test subjects for randomization, as I've seen in myself, as I've seen in earlier today in this parent who brought his daughter in, who got totally square, and he's going through the whole exercise without a plank strip down and was completely disrupted. It's easy to demonstrate this to your students too. So, and how each one, if they're interested, you can isolate the core by exercise and demonstrate the changes that are going to occur.